Hey guys, welcome back to RPO Restorations. Going to be shifting focus back to the Blazer for the next week or so. Today I'm going to show you a fix that'll work on any General Motors vehicle that was made roughly from 1968 all the way up into the mid-90s. Today I'm going to be taking a look and fixing the sloppy column shift lever in my Saginaw steering column. I'm going to show you a picture of that on the screen now so you know what I'm talking about. So if this is one of the little things that irks you with your older General Motors car or truck, then stay tuned, because we're going to knock it out real fast. All right, so here we have a GM Saginaw steering column. These steering columns were used in just about everything GM made from 1968 all the way up to the mid-90s, and they were relatively unchanged with a few minor exceptions. There are just two types, tilt and non-tilt. So either way, this fix will work for you, whether you have a tilt steering column or a regular one. So the way this works is when you pull back on your shift lever, there's a spring inside this mechanism that compresses. When you let go, it keeps tension on the lever to keep it tight and to keep it inside the gates. Once the spring tension goes, you wind up with this, and you got to kind of manipulate the lever and things like that to get your reverse lights to go on. So today, we're going to remove this, we're going to fix the spring, we're going to put it all back together. All right, so the first step is to remove our shift lever. There is a pin that you can knock out from the bottom with a small punch. Just drive that pin out. Here is the inside of the compartment. Once you remove the shift lever, you can see we have a spring inside, which is actually just mangled. It's broken in half. So we're going to go ahead and take that out. That is our spring that should be keeping pressure on our shift lever. Okay, now that we managed to dig all the little bits of the old spring out of the mechanism, we're going to go ahead and replace it with a new one. If your old one has just lost its tension, you can just kind of stretch it out a little bit and get it back in there, but lucky for me, I bought a new one. You can see there's a little hole in the center of the screen that the spring rides in. You want to get one end in there, and the other end will point straight up. So let's go ahead and try that out now. Well, I almost forgot. The spring, if you don't put it in just right, and you're going to fight with it, wants to fall down into the mechanism. So what a lot of people recommend doing, I'm going to try, is just take a thin piece of cardboard, like this is just from a case of soda, kind of bend it into an L shape, put it in so you can block the mechanism off from the spring, and then slide it back out. It's got to be thin cardboard, like a business card type thickness, or else you won't be able to get it out if you use a regular cardboard box. So we're going to go ahead and try that. All right, so we got our spring back in there. Wasn't too bad. Now we'll go ahead and slide that piece of cardboard right out, and that's how it should look. Hey, now the last step, take a screwdriver, try to compress that spring down. All right, now once you have the shift lever underneath the spring a little bit, find it also helps to coat the end in a little thin layer of grease to help it work itself past the spring. You want to slowly work it back and forth, get it over the spring, and it also helps if you kind of pull on it to put more tension on the spring as you're doing it. You want to work it in. There's a small hook in the column that it should latch into. Oh, I forgot to mention, it also helps if you're doing it in neutral. This way the spring's facing straight up and down. Once you have it in, and I just put my pin back in, but the only way that the pin will line up is if the shift lever's in the correct position. So if the pin won't line up right, then you still need to keep going. You probably need to put some tension on it. It's not latched into that hook that it needs to be latched into to keep it locked in place. So now we have our lever in. Our shifter's in. We'll shift back into park. And we've got our pin back in. And we've got a nice, firm shift and release. You can feel that new spring really put some tension on there. And it locks it right into place once I select the gear. All right, guys, so that's it. A nice, quick, easy fix for that sloppy shift lever that's probably driving you crazy, because I know it drove me nuts. If you want to see more about these steering columns, especially a whole column teardown or something like that, please let me know in the comments section. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.